Right, hello, this has finally actually started working. I was trying for a few minutes to get this up and going and it wasn't actually wanting to play ball. I keep forgetting as well I can stream via the NVIDIA interface, so I can always try it on that. But regardless, anyway, I'm on now. I was going to stream Dreams earlier, and then I decided to stream more of this, you know, because of all the Cold War stuff going on at the moment with Russia and Ukraine and everything. So I thought I'd stream this because we ended up talking about this for quite a lot yesterday. So after the stream yesterday, I stayed up quite a while to grind the K31, as you can see. The guy's holding it at the moment. And I also unlocked earlier the PPSH and the what was the other one I unlocked? The Set Me. So I'm probably tempted to make a Set Me class right now, so let's do that. And then just level it up a bit. So there we go, that's the Set Me, the C58. And we can get some upgrades going for it once I start using it. Right, AK-47. And alright, Jazzmat Gaming, if I didn't say hello. So yeah, just for the people who hadn't seen it, there's the although that's obviously going to be my tactical up version of it, but there you go, Swiss K31, and you can put all the silly upgrades on it. But yeah, I did unlock it now, but obviously if you some of you probably know that I've actually got one of those rifles, not the K31 variant, but the older M1889 is it variant, I think it's called, the old Schmidt-Rubin. But it's the exact same gun. Alright, Web? Alright, Mike? Right, Jake? So, Mike, I was going to stream some Dreams, but then I thought because I streamed this for quite a while last night, and it was quite an interesting chat where we were talking about the guns in it and that, and at the moment there's all the Cold War stuff going on with Ukraine and, you know, Russia and NATO and everything. I thought play another game about the Cold War, because it seems quite relevant, even if we're playing the Zombies mode or whatever, just so it's easier to chat. But, what's the one that just lets you look at it? Is it on this screen? IOZ. But yeah, so that's, obviously a pretty well modelled K31. So I've got the bigger, longer, older Schmidt-Rubin. Sore throat, down a bit, coffee, but otherwise completely fine, thanks. So that's the one with the little magazine on it. My one's got a bigger magazine, but they cut them down in size later on to make them, I think, more compact rifles. You know, more similar to a Lee Enfield and the Mauser and everything. But essentially it is just a Schmidt-Rubin with a stronger bolt, so it can use the more powerful cartridge. They wouldn't have had scopes on like that. That's obviously meant to have like a rail mounted to it for the scope. K31 had quite nice iron sights, the same iron sights as the Rubin, but the actual bolt and the like cocking handle is completely correct. How that works, the little ring that comes out. Red dots definitely existed in the 80s. The main thing was lasers. Like if you watch the Terminator, you know the massive laser he's got on his pistol? That's what they look like, because lasers back then weren't diodes, they were the massive like crystal type things you had to use to make a laser. Yeah, Dan, hopefully I have. So anyway, I'm probably not going to play with that in Zombies, just because unless we're doing the big open world map one, which we can, you know, using a sniper rifle like that's not very practical when you want automatics. But I thought, because I've just unlocked the, what's it called? And I was showing people last night, Mike, as well, that obviously in this as well, there's the, if you're on about the K31, I've got the older, like, relative of it. You know, like how there's various Mausers and various Lee Enfields. I've got the oldest version of it. If you get literally everything with that S6, £100 isn't bad for it. So yeah, there you go, Mike. That was another thing I liked in this. It's got the rack in it. Right, so something else I found out about the rack today, which I can't show on a stream, but is quite interesting. Just pointlessly while we're waiting for people to come on. There's a safety feature I didn't know about on this. So, basically, if you were going to shoot the gun, and your finger got in the way of the barrel, it doesn't let the slide go forward far enough to actually shoot, which is actually really clever. I didn't know that was a feature. Like, it's not something you'd want to test in person. you know, at risk of blowing your finger off. But in theory, if you dry fire it like that, even with deactivated when it works, I was watching people demonstrate on video, where basically it's got the thing where if your finger gets in front of that little, you know, bit there, you know, the bit that's like in front of the slide, that stops it going forwards and slam firing around. So it's just like there is actually an additional safety feature on the rack to stop you shooting your finger off, like a mechanical safety. Again, it's like you don't want to rely on that, you know, by getting your finger in the way by accident, but in theory it's designed that if there's an obstruction, it hits while it's travelling forwards, it stops the gun actually going into the firing position, like a sort of bear trap mechanism. So anyway, Right, I'll let you have a vote in the comments. What do you want me to use first? The C38, which is a G3. So that one, in zombies first, to give it a test. That one, the G3, or a PPSH. I mean, I do really like the look of that, being a set-me, you know, because the original G3. Because I like fouls and guns in that era, so could either use this one, or a PPSH. So the PPSH, or I could use a PPSH, up to you. I don't mind playing about with either of them. No riot shield in this one, Flazzy. So I've had 2 votes. When they said C38, I assumed they meant the C58, but the set-me. Modello C. So most people are saying the C58. I'll just go with the C. I can always do the PPSH later, but yeah, let's have a play about with this then. Okay, so solo. Shall we do the open world one to start with, so we can just have a chat and have a play about? Yeah, there definitely were red dots, AK, but they wouldn't be as compact as you know them today. But they did exist, because bear in mind, even in World War II, in aircraft, they could have holographic sights in a plane cockpit. If you see a plane cockpit, you know, where it looks like there's a crosshair on a little panel, that's a holographic sight. They had them back in World War II. But obviously, in the Cold War, they were really chunky. They wouldn't be as common as they are in the games, and I definitely don't think in something like a World War II or World War I, you know, Battlefield-style game, they'd have had like a projected sight like that. Oh, it's Duga. You can get any gun deactivated in the UK, it's just how much are you willing to pay for it. You could try it, Bane, but don't ask me on the stream, because I don't, although you can probably see my username as I'm playing, so it doesn't really work, does it? But although, bear in mind, I'm quite antisocial in these games. I normally just play a few games against randos, you know, on an online server, and then just play zombies solo. But PC, it's got cross-play on this Snoz. So sometimes in your online game, it will show you that some people are on Xbox and some people are on PlayStation when I'm playing it. So this does let you play with people across all the platforms, which is probably why I shouldn't be good at games like this, but I can dominate a lot of people that are playing on consoles, because they just can't react fast enough with a controller. So there we go, well, set-me, the old set-me one became the G3. Very nice rifle. Anyway, let's give this a test. I know it's against zombies, but still. But yeah, so obviously everybody's watching the Ukraine stuff at the moment. That's also, I was a bit late on, as well as the stream not working when I first wanted to start it, was because I was listening to the latest updates, you know, on like all the world leaders calling each other, trying to de-escalate stuff. The US has moved its embassy now. They've completely evacuated the Kiev embassy, and I think Britain's leaving like a few staff in its embassy to like help process people's papers to get them out if they're trying to flee. But I think that's it now, by the sound of it. when you get close to it, it actually looks quite big in this Dan. Not Dan. Who said Dougal looks small? AK. When you get onto it, you'll see it is actually like properly big sized, as in, you know, you'd easily fall to your death on it. But right, it's hard to say because there's definitely aircrafts I really like, but they're different categories of aircraft. So my favourite aircraft are probably like close air support aircraft, like, you know, Stuka's IL-2s, A-10s, Su-25s, those sort of planes. But obviously I've got like really big soft spots as well for planes like the Vulcan and the B-52. And the US moved for B-52s through, which is that? Is it RAF Fairford, where the US uses? It's one near Bryce Norton that is the one the US uses for the B-52s. They've been moving quite a lot through recently because of all the escalating tensions. So I might get to take some photos of B-52s on Friday when I'm at the Blue Cross, because when I'm up there, you'll see them. You're in their flight path basically, if they're currently in the air. But there's loads of videos on YouTube of the full landing at the airbase. I haven't played any of the other ones yet, Bane of the new lot. I've only just started playing this one. I might try the others, but obviously at the moment I'm just playing this one, and mostly just to mess about on it. I'll say I do actually quite like this so far, the set me. I mean, I like the gun in reality, obviously, but I'm just saying that, you know, when something in a game is actually alright and it seems to be animated correctly, that's quite cool. It's a shame the FAO isn't in this, but this is very similar to the FAO in reality, but the FAO was in the first Black Ops, isn't it? Favourite pistol? Hard to say. I kind of like the FN57, but a lot of people wouldn't consider that a regular pistol, would they? Out of the old style pistols, like what you're saying the 1911, I'd say Browning high power. But again, it depends. Do you mean just like in terms of military use, or like if you had to personally carry it? Because if I had to personally carry a pistol, I'd want something really compact and lightweight, even if you were sacrificing a bit of magazine size. And that's why, like, I like pistols like the Makarobs, you know, more for PPKs, because they're very small in terms of fitting in a pocket, so you'd have no excuse not to carry it on you. You know, not that we can legally carry pistols on us in the UK or anything, I'm just saying that if you're in a place where you could conceal carry a pistol, you'd probably want something just that would fit in any pocket, wouldn't you, really? So you can always have it no matter what coat you've got on or whatever. Which Magnum? Because a Magnum is just a type of revolver, really, or big pistol round. Do you mean the Magnum that's in this game? But in reality, like, a Magnum is just generally like a big chunky handgun. Like a Desert Eagle's a Magnum, you know, like a Colt Python's Magnum. Like 44 Smith & Wessons are all Magnums. 44 Magnum, most powerful gun in the world, you know. It's just like a class of kind of cartridge, really, like a beefy pistol round. Of course, the Wildy Magnum's the best one, because every time Death Wish 3's on TV, they sell Wildy Magnums in America. Because Wildy Magnums are great for shooting creeps. I do like the SIG P226 and that sort of series of guns a lot, yes, but sadly never shot them. But yeah, I'll go to the top of the Duga, seeing as I'm here. Hope the Russians don't blow the Duga up if they invade Ukraine. Because it's quite an eyesight, isn't it, the Duga? Saying that, in this are both the Dugas the same size? Because that's technically incorrect if they are, because one of the Dugas is bigger than the other, isn't it, in reality? On the array. I wish it would auto-pick those up. That depends what you mean, Mr. Incredible. I'm assuming you're just referring to any type of revolver, because with any revolver, the ammo stays in the cylinders. it's not actually the barrel it stays in, it's the essentially the chambers, isn't it? You know, like the rotating chambers. I was going to actually use the faster thing. Or... But yeah, if both... Actually, is that other Duga a bit smaller? I think that other one's a bit shorter. So yeah, that is actually correct, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, because you can see the zip line going down. Because yeah, one of the Dugas is actually... Are they actually Duga 1 and Duga 2, are they called? Or is it a different thing? But yeah. For those of you that don't know, Duga's the massive array that's in the Chernobyl exclusion zone, which is known as the Russian woodpecker. Because it used to fuck with people's radios, you know, where it goes on various frequencies. But it was basically for detecting nuclear missiles coming over the sort of, you know, horizon, which is why it's so big. You asked me already, Jake, and I said yes. Right, it'd be helpful with a scope on, wouldn't it, Battle One? Can I see anything with the iron sights down there? There's a zombie there. I don't actually know what the render distance is for like the zombies in this. But anyway, let's might as well go to where that cola thing is. Down here somewhere. That big building there. Yep. Russia won't nuke them. There's absolutely no point in Russia nuking them. But Russia could very easily conventionally invade. But I think Russia would also lose a lot of troops doing that. So at the moment, I'm like everybody else. I don't actually know what's going to happen. But I don't think Putin would put as many troops and equipment on the border if he wasn't going to do something. So even if they don't go for Kiev, I think they're going to take over some, like annex more of Ukraine. Any more zombies about? I suppose there's some down there. Now it's one of the boss type ones, isn't it? Was that a GP5 one there? Oh yeah, it was. But it's the back of his head there, so you can't see the front of it. Oh, there's another one there. That's convenient. Oh yeah, their eyes are actually in line with the, yeah, you can see better on this one. Their eyes are actually in line with that. That's just like meant to be pustules, I guess, there. Because, yeah, I had one the other day where I could see its eyes glowing. But again, like we were saying the other day, they still left the bloody filter plug in the filter when they modelled it. Right, weird one. Oh, it's very cool. But yeah, the B-52s are my favourite old strategic bombers. I just think it's a real shame in here that they've, you know, got rid of the Vulcan. Because the Avro Vulcan was a really nice plane. If they retrofitted those, it would have been amazing. But, you know, they never did, as typical. I don't think Britain even has a plane of that sort of class anymore, does it? It's just sort of Eurofighter Typhoons and Tornado bombers now, basically, is our bombing option. I was some F-35s they bought, but I think that's about it. But yeah, they had 4 B-52s land at Fairford the other day. Whether or not they've already moved them out somewhere in Europe, yeah, I don't know. But I'm saying it was nice watching the videos of them. Jim, I've got a video I'm going to do this week on a Remploy NBC suit, which is a really high quality one they make in Britain. So I'll do a video on that sometime this week. I didn't have the energy to do it today, because obviously I was working all weekend. So today I just wanted a day of doing nothing really, other than walking the dogs. But I will do a video on the Remploy NBC suit this week. It should be quite easy to do that. If tomorrow is going to be another wet and horrible day, I might film a bit of the video on it before I go out, and then when I walk the dogs I might wear the NBC suit to walk them, because it should be a very comfortable NBC suit for going out in cold, like, you know, cold, wet, miserable weathering. Right, Nick? Yeah, our nuclear deterrent, Dan, yes, but I just meant, like, in terms of having a strategic sort of long-range bomber, because lots of countries still sort of employ those, even if they just use them with conventional bombs. Just because, again, it's like, you know, it's quite a cool thing of just being able to say we've got a plane that can fly really far into your territory and drop bombs. But I know they're kind of antiquated now. But still, the Vulcans and B-52s are such lovely planes. What's my favourite weapon in one of these COD games? I don't know, because I'd have to play all of them. In this one so far, I've not unlocked everything. I mean, it depends. You mean actually how good it is in game, or just because I like the gun in real life? Because again, that's a completely different sort of thing, isn't it? In question. Anyway, let's go look at that vending machine, which was the whole reason I went over here originally. Juggernaut's what people always tell me to get first, isn't it? I'll get that one next. You do that dragon thing while I'm close to it. That's the one where you just have to kill enemies inside an area, isn't it? Yes and no, Duncan. I'm definitely getting a lot better, as in, like, I fully recovered from COVID in theory a while ago, but the problem was I kept getting secondary infections. So, at the moment, I think I've nearly fully recovered from the last of my secondary infections, if that makes sense. But, yeah, I do know people are catching it again, especially because there's 2, like, Omicron variants now, aren't there? So, catch it once, catch it twice. As in the Israeli M15, yeah, it's quite a nice mask. If you can get hold of one for a good price. Just do that to make it easy. Yes, Litter Picker. Yeah, this is the zombie mode, Nick. Sorry, I'll read the comments in a minute. I was playing quite a lot of this last night. Right, let me have a quick look. I'll have a look later, Snoz. I did see on the news, though, that Russia's moved 3 S-400s onto the border so they can deny most of Ukraine airspace, you know, if they want to. So anyway, what was, oh, it's gone to top chat, that's why I can't see your comment, Nick. What game mode is this? It's the zombies one, but on, like, the massive open world maps. Like, you do get the classic kind of, like, World at War zombies modes on, like, the smaller maps, but this is one where it's kind of like on a big map with vehicles, where it's kind of free roaming. So it's quite good to just, like, do, because you don't have to, like, rush about too much on this one. So it's better for, you know, chatting with people, because you don't have to, you know, each wave doesn't get harder in a sense. You can, like, complete a map and then move to the next map where the enemies are stronger. But other than that, it's not really like a, you know, wave and wave a zombie thing. It is nice playing a COD game where they're no longer on that stupid old game engine they used to use. The What was it called? The Quake 3 engine, wasn't it? All the old Call of Duties used, which is really antiquated at this point. So yeah, litter picker. There's Omicron B1 and Omicron B2. B1 was the one that infected all this country around Christmas time, and now there's a new variant that's spreading quite quickly in some European countries, but is technically a bit different. And I think if you've had Omicron B1, although you'll get quite good natural immunity, you can still catch Omicron B2, and the vaccines don't do anything against it. You know, I think they make you less ill if you've had a vaccine, but Omicron B2 is basically, you know, like another one that's, for most people, is like a cold. What's the Spyroverse conspiracy then, Dan? Well, that's the thing, Deadstock. I definitely don't think it will be as easy as maybe Putin thinks it will be, just because of all the stingers and NLAWs and, you know, javelins that Ukraine's been supplied with, and how many people there want to volunteer to fight. So I think it will be one of those situations where they could easily lose lots of jets and tanks very quickly, and then it will turn into a really kind of bloody ground war. Oh, I like it as an option, just because it's quite fun to play. Alright, Mike, as I know you're not on Twitch for the next few days, I'll not bother, you know, planning anything for that time, if that makes sense, you know, so I won't make sure I'm free at the time you'd be on Twitch. So yeah, I can, you know, either stream at that time myself, watch a film, and go to bed early or whatever. Right, this sounds like a very weird thing, Dan. I don't believe in it myself. That's the weapon upgrade thing there, isn't it? So let's have a look. Is there any good upgrades for the... Oh, it's typical. I've got the nuke when there's not any enemies close by. Oh, I suppose it did kill some. Weapon. Can we upgrade this yet? Cost 500, I have 700. Right, we might as well upgrade this then. Oh, I might as well do the random weapon reroll when I get 50 more of those things. Randomise the attachments you equip to weapons. I have no attachments on it, so it can only get better if I do that. Do some cup of tea. Oh, it's a thing you made up on Mike's stream, is it? Right. Because with how weird some of the conspiracy theories are, when you hear some of these, there are people that legit believe in stuff like that. Right, anyway, let's get some more of those parts so I can then do the randomise on this and see if I get a scope or something on it. I might as well try this out. I suppose that worked. I've got enough now, good, right. No, I've not really got any interest in PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. Alright, Mike. Thanks. Right. Right, what weird attachments does it put on it then? Oh, I've got, what, ×2 scope or a ×3 scope by the look of it? And Is that a bigger mag now? A slightly bigger mag and a ×3 scope. I don't know if it's put any other attachments on it, but they're better than what I did have. You know, no attachments. I think personally that it's more likely that Hasbro are evil, just, and again I don't want to get sued, but just because of the fact that most companies with loads of money are evil. Or at least just very uncaring. Satan. Just stop in Russian, even though it's obviously not pronounced Satan, but that's how it looks in English. And the pointless trivia, as we've all said before, the reason it's called a Ouija board is because that's the copyright, and you have to call it a spirit board if you're doing it in a film or a game and you don't pay him the copyright. Oh, Mike, is the dartboard at the right height? It might actually be there. I mean, my guy might be under 6 foot, I'm not sure, but that's definitely more like a real height for a dartboard than it is on some of these things. Maybe it's a bit too high, but I don't know how high my person's meant to be. It's meant to be a bunker here. Doesn't look too bad a bunker, does it? At least they've got a dartboard. I have some dartboards in ROC posts anyway. This is meant to be a little bunker. It would be a bunker, wouldn't it? Yeah. Right, shall I go do the objective anyway? So it's the actual bullseye itself that should be eye level with somebody 6 foot, okay. So did they just buy the rights to it? Or make something similar and then copyrighted the other people out of it, which is another very American thing to do. You can run even faster with one of the perks, Flazzy. But yes, the people do run stupidly quickly in this. Yeah, right. Well, as in, you don't have the right to repair. That's the evil bit of it, isn't it? I totally agree with the right to repair, as in, if you buy something, you should have the right to repair it. I'm not really interested in cigarette cards, no. I imagine you can't have cigarette cards anymore because that would apparently encourage people to smoke or something, wouldn't it? I suppose they're like old things, aren't they? I bet you can't buy them off eBay. They're called Pervitin, aren't they? The World War II issue, yeah, armed forces meth. But yes, a bit like the Soviet medkits you can't buy the medicine in. I bet sadly you can't get those. But it depends how many you take, Dan, because apparently the people who took too many at once said they like saw like weird blurred vision, you know, bright colours. Yeah, it's a shame. Like, it's also like the reason that sometimes when supermarkets have like certain types of special offers on, booze and cigarettes are literally like two of the things that are always exempt from it. You know, like the stuff that you might actually enjoy. Like, you know, food and that's fine, even if it's really unhealthy food, but God help you if you wanted to buy some beers with that, you know, point type thing, or, you know, that sort of stuff. I mean, I know you can get reproductions, but that's not the same thing, is it? If you buy something like that, but it's not got any of the original stuff in it, it's not really the point, is it? Because it's like the Soviet medkits. You can sometimes buy them where they've taken all of the actual tablets out, and then they've like put things in that look like the tablets that used to be in there. Or you can get ones where people have just, you know, like 3D printed what the box would look like. But unless you raid an old like Russian fallout shelter or supply warehouse, you're not getting the ones that actually have the LSD equivalent in and the really strong opioid in them. Which again is why when you see people exploring the old bunkers, it's why you see all those medkits scattered on the floor. Because people go in there literally to take the like synthetic morphine out and the LSD type drug that's in them. Like, all the fallout protection pills are always still in there. You know, like the iodine pills and the like calcium pills and all those, they're still in there. But the actual fun drugs aren't in there anymore. Yeah, just get an FM12. It's very similar. other than the drinking tube, it's basically the same thing. But yeah, the reason you can't find them is they're rare masks. Relatively rare, anyway. What, some Russian fashion magazine, is it? The thing is, I can actually understand people trashing stuff like that more if it's actually got stuff that's worth quite a lot in terms of loot inside. The ones I can't understand is where people just trash them for the sake of trashing them. Like, I can understand, like I was saying, if there's like loads of stuff stored in them, why people would actually loot that stuff. Because again, if it's stuff they can resell and make a load of money, or, you know, it's like Class A drugs that are essentially just stashed in there, I can understand it. But it's like not when people just set the bunkers on fire for the sake of setting them on fire. Like what happens a lot of ROC posts over here. You'd probably max get classed under what they'd fall under on the Class A, B or C things under UK law. Because as far as I'm aware, although some museums have historical drugs in, they have to be like kept under really kind of heavy lock and key. Because one of the UK museums has loads and loads of old opium and like laudanum type stuff in it, but again it's like literally locks up like Fort Knox, because, you know, that stuff is basically several £million worth of Class A drugs, even if they're like, you know, 100 years past their expiry dates. Like when they have all the heroin, cough medicine and that in the British museums. Alright, see you, Rich. Ah, he's on about Calvin and Hatch, that, aren't you, Dan? But yes. See you, Rich. But opium is still a drug, regardless of how old it is. For thousands of years, raw opium was how people used to take it anyway. Is there somewhere I can go down there, or is it? No, it's just outhouses. Okay. The toilet, to make of the toilet. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's ever done a medical paper saying how potent are drugs after certain amounts of years of being stored in a container. I did not know that, litter picker. I'll have to look that one up. If you're on about masks, Jim, as said, the proper Israeli civilian and military masks are good, not the Chinese copies of them. Right, I want to evac, don't I? I might as well buy some more of these. Right, we might as well do the evac thing. Then we'll go and do a different map. Like one of the classic zombies ones. Max at an animal shelter. Let's hope so, Dan. But yeah, one of my friends likes to say stuff, you know, like, if you look at the first sort of 100 years of aviation, we had supersonic planes, went to the moon, you know, and all that, and now we have subsonic planes, nobody goes to the moon anymore, you know, all that sort of stuff. Alright, call it a picker, I will do after this stream. I'll probably stay on quite a bit again tonight, because it's quite easy just to play this and chat with people. Right, see you, Bane. After this stream, I'll be tuning into the latest stuff again to find out, you know, the Ukraine stuff and everything. Because that's the developing story at the moment. Right, raw Ethereum crystal, that's the stuff you spend to upgrade equipment, isn't it? Let's just do the assault rifles one, because I'll be using them again. Right, so let's see what things I got for the set me. Gunsmith, so I can put a reflex sight on it, why not? Muzzle brake, yeah, so that's just a different kind of suppressor, isn't it, essentially, so that one just makes the stats better regardless. I think with all of these, if you turn the gun from base into any of the upgrades, it always gets better stats. It's just when you're changing upgrade from upgrade, that's when it's side grading. Right, so that's all I've unlocked for it so far. So, it has a custom handguard now, that's quite cool. Which one put that on there? Was it the... Oh yeah, so it's the barrel that changes the handguard. So, okay, that's quite interesting. These are actually different FAL and sort of set-me handguards. Okay, so the default one, obviously, is the regular set-me sort of C3, G3. That one I'm not actually sure. Again, that looks like the plasticky kind of G3 one. That is an Israeli FAL's handguard, technically, if I'm correct. That one is... not actually sure off the top of my head, but it's got the thing. But that one is the FNC handguard, isn't it? Although they're basically the wooden plastic, which is the same thing. But one's the Israeli one, one's the FNC one. So technically not correct for the gun, but that's still interesting. That handle's actually the one that they used, wasn't it, on like the Marksman G3s? There's the grips. I've already been talking about that on this stream. I mean, we're all hoping that obviously Ukraine doesn't get invaded, is the simple answer to that. Anyway, let's have a play about with the C58 on regular zombies. What did Firebase said? See how far I can get in that. Alright, Deadstock, I'll check that out later. I'm watching a lot of stuff on it at the moment. I've already said Max I will do. What's that, BMR? I don't recognise the name of it off the top of my head. As far as I'm aware, Max, they've moved even more stuff to the front, so I doubt that's happening. What's my current favourite gas mask? Let's have a think. Like, if you mean, like, without me saying CT12, I'm trying to think if there's any other masks I've bought recently I really like. I actually really like the Chinese FMJ09, or whatever the civilian designation was of that one. Right, anyway, let's try the C58 on this map, see what it's like. Or I'll just say the set-me, sorry. C58 might not even be its real name, because lots of the games have the guns have fake names in this. Alright, mate. Yeah, fair enough, Dan. Yeah, I've done it before AK, but I can do it after this one. There's also the original Nakdare totem, but expanded, isn't there, on this? Whatever that one's called. The portal, whatever it's called, but the actual building's the original Nakdare untotem one. Or basically, Night of the Undead. I don't actually think I do have any Dutch gas masks as far as I'm aware. There are some cool Dutch ones, like the one that could take either 40 or 60mm filters, like the Model K or whatever it was called, but no, I don't think I actually have any Dutch masks. Right, might as well get the that's why he's still alive. There's some more points to get through there now. Yeah, I like the Hitman games. That got asked on the stream like 2 days ago, I think. But yeah, I haven't really played the newer ones properly, but I do like the old ones, especially Blood Money. Let's go to where the objectives are. As that's only a green one, a tier 2, I won't bother for now. I'll just wait until I get this to get a tier 3. Yeah, that's the problem with microtransactions, Dan. Again, lots of these games are officially for people aged 18 or over. I bet that's not their core demographic. Get your parents' credit cards and buy those skins. Avoid taking damage. Okay. Just thin them out a little bit. Yes, please. I've got a common reward so far. Let's see if I can do it for another 50 odd seconds. It's probably actually easier now that I've knocked a load of them dead. Oh, that one's running. Ooh. I'll run if those ones are running. Oh, so it didn't upgrade to rare, because even though I did the whole thing perfectly. That's a bit annoying. Right then. Punch, 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 punch. Oh, that didn't... Fuck's sake. Alright, Mike. So, what's my reward after all that? A load of free money. Wow, what a shit reward. Is there any better guns on the walls yet? Need to buy another one of those when I've got the money because I lost it just now. Oh, there's a shotgun, isn't there, through here somewhere once you do the thing. Oh, I have to pay to do that, okay. Sounds helpful. Bonus points. Oh, that was helpful. Shit. I'll read the chat properly in a minute. That didn't let me get the reward to legendary. It just literally stopped at common even though I took no damage. I probably have to do it on a later wave though, but still. Like I said, I'm not that interested in zombies to, like, you know, do it so long that I get the, you know, best possible thing from each crate. I'm just playing this for the fun of it and enjoying the chat. I think I've said before, in a real life one, I think the best thing to do would be get a boat and stay off the land. Oh, not a mimic. Oh, fuck's sake, not again. Oh, I'm dead. Or am I? Oh, that was lucky. Let's get the DMR.
Just need the other two back online. We're in business. We're in business. We'll get masts back. Not before tech.
Yeah, they can't get you on a nuclear sub, can they? I mean, with a regular boat, you could just put off to shore, couldn't you, and anchor it somewhere, and you'd be absolutely fine. That way you still get sunlight. Right, so let's swap this for this now, because it's a much better gun. I might just try and evacuate on wave 10. I'll probably die horribly doing it, but let's just try that. What's the daily zombie things? Molotov kills. Don't need Molotovs, that's a bit difficult to do. Oh yeah, that's the point, yeah, human attack. Yeah, I suppose if you're on the sub, yeah, nobody's going to know where you are they? I suppose actually with Molotovs I can craft them here, can't I? I've got 2 Molotovs, there we go. Right, there should be the thing to say about getting out of here, shouldn't there, after this next wave? Yeah, you need somewhere where you can actually hide from the thing, and you wouldn't be able to get much supplies on a dinghy. So that's 6 of the 25 kills now. Right, let's go do that then. Right, where do I have to go? That way.
Chopper inbound Omega Base. Limited windows, so move your ass.
Oh, I'm dead. Oh, I suppose I can get back up as that, can't I? No, I'm dead. Right, I'll do that Berlin map again as some people asked for, but I doubt we'll get very far in it. I might switch to the PPSH though for that. Just so I imagine it'll let me carry a lot more ammo. I suppose the good thing of a bunker is if it's a properly made bunker, you could actually disguise the entrances pretty well. Like camo netting type stuff or plants, over it. Especially if like it's overgrown. It's like, overgrown to the point the air vents still work on one, but... Anyway, so let's just set the PPSH up. I'll just finish upgrading all the upgrades I could do on that anyway. Let's do it in the custom console. Right, gunsmith. Do I want to do the submachine guns? PPSH. Put all the things on it I can, even if they look silly. I've got a lot for it now at the moment anyway. So yeah, tactical PPSH. And yep, let's try that out then. So solo, Mauer der Toten solo, whatever Mauer means. Der Toten is of the dead basically, isn't it? I'm glad you enjoy my videos, person whose name I have no way of knowing how to pronounce, but... Oh, you can make them look a lot more cursed in this American Pride than that. You can make proper bubba guns in this by, putting all the horrible shit on them. Again, it's a shame you can't say, like, I want the skin to look normal, but with all the stat increases of, like a load of the upgrades. Because again, it's like with that K31, I'd rather, have it look as much like an authentic K31 Schmidt-Rubin as possible, just with the better stats from putting the upgrades on. I don't want lasers and that slapped all over it. Oh, because is that World War II guns it's being done to primarily? Because yeah, when it's like plasticky looking guns, it doesn't look as bad. But yes, if COD Vanguard is all World War II guns, that would be interesting. Although saying that, you do get things like the Sturmgewehr Vampire and the M3 carbine and the Sten. They did all that stuff too. So you know, that is an actual thing, isn't it? But there we go. Right, so let's try the PBS-8. Yeah, there we go, cursed PPSH, because it's got a laser sight stuck on the side of it, and yeah, full grip. Saying that, I do quite like this already, actually. But yeah, so long pork and baked beans at that point. So speed up on the you need power for this. Some zombies to appear for me to kill so I can get my money for opening the doors. So yeah, there's the Berlin Wall. So yeah, we're obviously on the East German side, aren't we? Oh, there's a mystery box. Is that a good or bad thing, having the pylon in the front garden? I assume a bad thing, but I'm just sort of interested. Unless you could tap from the pylon into the house, get around the grid. Machete. Yeah, exactly. Bit of an eyesore. You open your window and there's a massive pylon there. Let's just keep playing with the mystery box. That's a bit more fun than trying to do the map. Oh shit, I swapped my wrong gun for it. Oh, that's alright. Okay. Which is completely overkill for a map like this and not really very useful, is it? Definitely prefer this. Not technically. It would have to be ionizing radiation to give you cancer. But I imagine high levels of electromagnetic fields could give you headaches and stuff like that. I'd be more worried actually if a bit of the pylon just fell down and cooked you, in all honesty. Depends what it is, BMR games. Some cheap stuff's good. Right, let's swap this for something else. Oh, a Kalashnikov. Well, that's more useful. Let's get some ammo for my PPSH. Shows I can afford to open this door now, can't I? What? Cheap choppers as in choppers like a machete? Choppers like a motorbike, or choppers is in a helicopter? I mean, lots of the military stuff is very overpriced for what it is, but also, when it comes to flying aircraft, you probably don't want to be in something that's like a dustbin. I do like actually that the grip on the Kalashnikov is the real Kalashnikov's, you know, grip they put on the Romanian ones, or whatever it was. That is quite a nice touch, rather than it just being like a plastic handle they put on it. Still alive. Oh, that one had a white GP5 before I blew its head off. Oh, that's a shame. I would have shot him not in the head then if I'd have noticed that. Oh, Wall of the Dead, well, I guess that makes sense. I'll just read what the comment was. Oh, what was the person say? Radiation applied to choppers. Unless you're getting one from the vehicle graveyard in Chernobyl, no, it's like Liz Picker said, it's not the planes that give you radiation, unless you go on one of those old experimental reactor-powered planes. It's actually just, yeah, the higher you get, the higher your altitude, the more radiation dose you absorb, basically. So after all this, we're just ending up using an AK. Thanks, Kalashnikov. Right, anyway, let me go do the objective that I'm meant to be doing. Do some more ammo, couldn't I, for that AK? Oh, there we go, it's a box there. Oh, oops. I don't know which way was I meant to be going, or not in this area at all. Oh, that's an insta-kill, I want the insta-kill. Oh, that was the door I was meant to be going through. Whoops. Now tell me I need another fuse. Oh, no, it's right. Where is he? There he is. Bravely run away. Oh, this looks like a dead end. That's not good. The one I'll be destroying for the 100k special, that pewter thing, whatever its actual name is. Right, I've using those points, I guess I might as well use them, but I don't have much to spend the points on now until a really good gun turns up on the wall or I get across a good vending machine. Okay, so I'm meant to be going there, am I? Too late, I'm dead. Probably about 15 or so BMR. Yeah, so 50 millisieverts is 5 Rontgen. And 2000 millisieverts would be 2 sieverts, so that'd be 200 Rontgen. But again, it's not over one day, is it? But their like lifetime cancer risk is massively higher. It's the same reason like there's a lot of stuff to do with radiation shielding if they ever like, you know, do moon colonies and that, because basically you wouldn't survive out there in the long term due to the radiation doses. A 100 millisieverts is 10 Rontgen for anyone wanting it in the old numbers. Roughly 10 Rontgen. About probably 11 Rontgen in reality, but yeah. So, you know, 3.6 Rontgen per hour, have a few hours of that, and your cancer risks are much, much higher. What other cursed things can I put on my PPSH now? Different sight, this one just gives it a slight accuracy boost, so you might as well. I haven't unlocked any magazines or anything for it yet. I'll do the solo one, Forsaken, because that's quite good for just really quickly shooting loads of zombies, that one, because of how fast the waves advance. Oh, there's loads, Dan. I mean, the government and like top military people blatantly have ones that we just don't know about. But in terms of the old one, there's still loads of ROC posts and civil defence bunkers that weren't knocked down. So they're still around, plus a few of the Rotor and like bigger ones and the communications bunkers. But yeah, the government blatantly has, you know, like really good stuff out in the middle of nowhere that we just don't know about, that's a lot newer than stuff like Calvin and Hatch. Liquor or liqueur, because they're two different things. Actual liquor as in like spirits. Probably a really good single malt like Scotch. So like Glenfiddich or any other similar things to that, but if you mean actual liqueur though, I'd have to think more about that. Right.
Get inside. Psychop is key to defeating the Forsaken. We cannot let Omega take him.
I can afford that upgrade now. So this one is much faster in terms of just killing zombies and like leveling stuff up. Yeah, there was actually just a documentary though I watched, Litter Picker, that shows where they think one might be, you know, that's classified, but it's inside like one of the it's like inside the boundaries of one of like the, you know, military bases anyway. but it's not close enough to like the main bits of it that if they had a small tactical nuke hit it, it would be a risk to where they think the bunker is. So, you know, it's like on the site of the military base, but not actually near the barracks and the armory and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, like I've said, there's even a thing near me that's really suspicious in terms of looking like a bunker. Like where sort of like if you look at satellite images in the 70s, this thing wasn't there. But if you go to the woods where I am, sort of there's mounds of earth with concrete doors sticking out of it. And again, it could be some sort of water silo that's underground, but it's a bit, you know, looks a bit, like, to me, a bit suspicious to be a water silo or whatever. I'll get the second, gun while I, try and get to the ammo crate. Use a teleporter. Depends which one you mean. I think the one in Berlin was destroyed, wasn't it? But the Wolf's Lair, the one in Austria, that is the Wolf's Lair, isn't it? Or is that a different one? Or is that the Eagle's Lair? Eagle's Nest. But the one in Austria is still there, but it's like really bad condition. But there's videos of it, you know, where they show you all the like bits of it, you know, where it's partially flooded and that, with all the machine gun like walls built into it and stuff like that. Well, I've seen a really bad Israeli 4A1 rip-off where the valves didn't even work properly. So that would be one of the worst. Oh, that's one theory. I mean, he could also just be... Well, he'd definitely be dead now anyway. Well, I don't think zombies would exist in reality anyway, but in Stalker there are zombies that can shoot guns very badly. Except when the AI decides they're going to aimbot you across the map. I still need to get a couple of Molotov kills, so if I can craft a Molotov... There we go. Wait till some more zombies spawn, then I'll use that Molotov. There we go. I don't know if they do the mass drills, but they still have the bunkers there. Whether or not they bother stocking them and all that, I don't know.
Soon the Forsaken will be too. They are at the top of the observation tower. There should be a way up there.
What was that? Coin of some sort. How much did that cost? 2,750. Okay. Bit longer if I can get that. Oh, you're saying they still do mass drills class 2? Sorry. I thought you were asking me, do they still do mass drills? Yeah, well, they never built enough bunkers here for anybody, did they? Other than observers and the people in the government and the military. Who would probably come out into the nuclear wasteland, find out what country hadn't been bombed to shit, and then just get a flight over there. Like, bye, we're off. Oh, I can afford that gun now. Let me go swap the PPSH, the M16, whatever it was. That's better. Food would become currency. Bottled water. Medicines. Burger Town, eh? Oh, a nuke actually turning up when it's useful. That's a surprise. Yeah, ammo, definitely. Fuel of various sorts, I imagine, as well. Right, after this game I'll go off just because I've got a bit of a headache coming on. Don't know if it's from looking at the screen too long or what, but... Lift block down for access. Ow, my legs. So teleporter.
We'll need to find some replacement parts if we were to repair that teleporter.
legendary burgers in here, apparently. In the event of nuclear attack, no. Well, not if I thought I'd be completely kissing my ass goodbye. Why would I bother putting body armour on? I suppose if you were somewhere where you were thinking you might be far enough away where shrapnel and stuff would hit you, body armour would be quite useful, yeah, but... I definitely wouldn't bother with body armour if I was going to be underneath a nuke. I'd just get a deck chair out and some sunglasses. Yeah, so search area, what am I meant to be searching for? Parts of some sort. Behind the counter? I'm just going to try and get out if I can. Probably won't be able to, but... I think I get a better reward, don't I, for getting out and just dying on a later wave.
Raptor 1 en route to evac point. If we need to take it, we do it.
Go, go, go. Oh yeah, if I survived the blast and I put my counter on and I wasn't immediately dying of radiation poisoning, lightweight body armour I would say would be worth it. Especially the stuff that would just stop somebody shoving a knife through you. You know, or something like that easily. I'm going this way, aren't I? Right. Let me just concentrate on doing this a second. Apparently clear out 67 hostiles in 47 seconds. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. It looks a bit hard. This is going to work, is it? Yeah, there we go. Right, failed the evacuation as expected, because no way could on my own get 68 of the zombies in like a minute. Right, anyway, I'll head off now. Hope everybody's enjoyed just having a bit of a chat and a laugh on the stream as we prepare to enjoy a new Cold War / a hot war, depending on what happens. I'll probably get an early night fairly soon. I doubt that, Max. Not if you knew you had 5 minutes left to live. There's literally a not the 9 o'clock news sketch about that, where they are talking about Russia dropping 50-something megatons, or even more than that, on Britain, and then the policies where like the politicians don't want to talk about it, and like then they're like, oh, as we've only got 30 seconds to live, who you most like to shag, and then the bomb drops. I might have to see if I can find a playlist of all not the 9 o'clock news episodes. Right, anyway. See you all, have a good evening. And I'll probably be on tomorrow either to do a stream or upload a video.